Welcome everybody to my presentation. We're gonna chat about chatbots today. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Karolina. I'm from Krakow, Poland. I work for Infosys Consulting and I'm an artificial intelligence developer. And I, of course, specialize in chatbots. Okay, what's the agenda for today? Today we're gonna first talk about what chatbot actually is. Then why chatbots are so important nowadays. Then how does chatbot actually work? And then we're gonna be a little bit more specific. How can we analyze text? We're gonna take a deep look into the information retrieval, information extraction, text mining, and of course NLP, natural language processing, which is the main core of the whole artificial intelligence in text. So, I suppose that most of you guys have smartphone. So the answer to the question if you ever talk to a chatbot is pretty simple. Yes, you have talked to a chatbot probably more than once. What is chatbot? Chatbot is basically a computer program that is able to talk to human being, to human person, in our natural language. Before the era of the chatbot, people communicate with computers using very fancy and sophisticated programming languages, for example, C, Java, or Python. But now, computers are actually capable of talking to us in our language. We all know chatbots. We have talked to them more than once. If you have iPhone or Android, phone with Android, you know Google Assistant. In iPhone we have Siri. If you know Amazon, there's Alexa, of course, and there are a lot of chatbots in Messenger and other messaging apps. If you, for example, talked to some kind of celebrity on Messenger, you can be pretty sure that you talked to chatbot, not the celebrity himself. Some chatbots are pretty smart. As you can see on the screen, they can actually answer very complex questions. If you ask Google Assistant, how old is President of the USA, you see the answer that he's 73 years old, which is very important in this case is the fact that you did not specify that the President of the United States is basically Donald Trump, but you use the sequence President of the USA, and the chatbot knows that it is Donald Trump. To be honest, it's very high level NLP, natural language processing for the computer to know the answer to that question so simple and so fast. Another examples of the smartness of our chatbots is machine translation. It's in the center of the screen. If you ask your chatbot to translate something into another language, it will capture the language, basically the both languages, and translate one into another. You can also set timers, but you have also you need to give permissions to that. You can also have a little chit chat, so chatbots can tell you some jokes, some informations that you need. But some of the chatbots are not so smart at all. As you can see on the screen, a lot of them have some issues with communicating with other people. The first one hardly understands anything from our human language. It talks a lot, but it's nothing very important. The other one was implemented for elections and is not really able to answer the most important question: why is it important to vote? So it's it's not so good for the chatbot. Another type of popular bugs in chatbots is that they're actually looping. They're They are saying the same and the same thing again and again. One of the most popular chatbot in history is Microsoft's Tay in 2016. It is the chatbot on Twitter. It spoke in our natural language. It started on 23rd of March 2016, and at first it started great. It was very nice and it talked to people. And what is very important here is that this chatbot actually read all the messages that were sent to him and learn from people. So what people did was just to spam this chatbot with different kind of information, and little did we know that Tay would become a racist in less than a day. This actually shows how important is the knowledge that you actually feed to the chatbot, because as you can see here, these tweets are not so nice anymore, and well, they are not cool and, let's be honest, racist. So actually, what's the big deal with chatbots? Because it may seem that, yeah, okay, it's kind of great feature for our smartphones. It's great feature for, I don't know, your websites. But actually, what is the potential of it? On the screen, you see graph from 2017, and there's the number of monthly active users for 4 big messaging apps and 4 big social networking apps. What is important here is that there's a totally different approach in the number of active users. As you can see, 4 big messaging apps popularity of it increased in 2015. But let's go to 2019 and what's happening here. In 2019, we have WhatsApp as the most popular worldwide downloads, and then we have Messenger. So how can we actually use this information? We can think of the chatbot as a very smart worker of our companies, for example. It is actually online 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. So how can we not use this potential? If we have an employee that is online for quite some time, we can use it in different applications. One of the best applications of a chatbot is, of course, customer service, handling minor daily tasks, updates and content delivery, e-commerce bots, event reservation, agenda and scheduling, virtual assistants, and data gathering and analysis. Now, let's go to the question, how do chatbots actually work? There are basically 2 types of chatbots. The first is based on artificial intelligence concepts. It is very common to use machine learning techniques and NLP techniques for that kind of chatbot. And this kind is able to learn in the process of communication. It actually gathers some information from history and analyze them and learn from previous conversations. The most important part here is that those algorithms are very complex and it's not easy to build them and to maintain them. The other kind of chatbot is quite simple. It's programmed for specific behavior scenarios. It's more reliable and simple. Basically, it's just the FAQs chatbot, so you just teach the chatbot most frequent questions that your user may ask, and it will just learn to ask them. But it do not possess intelligence, so it is your job to actually teach the chatbot the knowledge, and you just can't leave it on their own. It won't grow any language any more knowledge anymore. To be honest, this second type of chatbot is basically just if-else statements program. So, what do we need to teach something useful, the chatbot? We need a lot of text. In every NLP, natural language processing algorithm, you need a corpus of your language. Corpus is a lot of text data that is fed actually to the chatbot, and the chatbot knows something about the language you're using. Apart from text, we need more text. This is the most important part, that the knowledge is gained from the text, and the text should be very huge. This should be a huge amount of data, and it should be quite useful. So you need to be aware what you're actually using. What about the speech? Because there are a lot of chatbots that use speech instead of the text information. The answer is pretty simple. Speech is actually converted to text, and you're using the same techniques as before. If you want to use your chatbot as a speech chatbot, voice chatbot, you just then convert text into speech again, and that's it. So one of the most important concept in chatbots techniques is information retrieval. If you have a lot of texts, you have this huge amount of data, you want to find information you're looking for inside that. And for that, you're using information retrieval. You have some query string that you want to look for. You go to the IR system, and there basically are a lot of machine learning techniques, for example. And based on that, you find the most important documents or text that you want to find. Another concept is information extraction. So basically, you're using, again, the same concept, huge amount of data, which is unstructured, and you want to get structured sequences and then give user the answer for the question. Next part is text mining. It's very useful in information extraction. This is basically the clustering or grouping texts based on the topic or whatever. It's your choice how you want to group this data. But the most common example is just you have a lot of text data and you group them by topic, for example. But how actually does this algorithm work? We need to go deeper. In all of these cases, you need natural language processing. There are three steps, or maybe 3 levels of NLP. Some of them are pretty easy. For example, part of speech tagging or spam detection. It's pretty clear how to do it. Next one is level medium, and this is much more complex, but still not so hard. And hard is a real, it's what we should really focus on right now. It's text generation, machine translation, automatic summarization, question answering. So this is all the things that chatbot, like really smart chatbot, should know. And yeah, and basically some of the algorithms currently are able to do something with that. So NLP is natural language processing, is a variety of algorithms that are able to do machine translation, information retrieval, sentiment analysis, information extraction, and question answering. All of these things can be seen, for example, in Google Assistant or other virtual assistants, like Siri, or in Google Translate or other things like that. There are a couple of steps of NLP. It depends on how accurate you want to be, but for sure you need to do tokenization, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Then syntax analysis, semantic analysis, discourse analysis, and pragmatic analysis. Tokenization is actually chunking sentences into tokens, because for us it's pretty clear that in one sentence there are a lot of different words, but for computers it's not so easy to actually know where the word has ended and where another word starts. In most of languages it's pretty clear because we use spaces to distinguish the words from each other, but there are some Asian languages that do not use spaces at all. And this is, for Asian languages, this is a very, very hard subject, but for languages like English or Polish, it's very, very, very easy. Another part is syntax analysis. Then there are a lot of different steps. First of all, we need to extract lemma from each word. Lemma is basically the core version of each word. So in English, for example, if you use past simple sentences, you add ed to the end of the verb. So from jumped, we want to actually get jump, because this is the lemma of the word. Another part is the part of speech tagging, which is basically understanding if the word is a noun or an adjective or verb, etc. Another parts are sentence breaking, because the that in sentence that does not only mean that it's the end of the sentence. Word segmentation and terminology extraction. Next step is semantic analysis. Here the most important concept is named entity recognition, which is used to know that Barack Obama is not like some weird word. It is a person, and Barack Obama can be then linked to another person or to the United States or something like that. Next, we want to know what are basic dependencies between words. So in the sentence, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, we want to know that fox is quick and fox is brown. And those words, quick and brown, does not apply to any other word here in the sentence. And the third part is sentiment analysis. It is pretty common right now to use sentiment analysis to analyze comments on Twitter or any other social networks, so that we know what are the opinions on given subject. So if we have the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, your algorithm will be sure that the sentiment of the sentence is negative because the dog was lazy. What can we do with those parts? There are three very base concepts. First is machine translation. The best machine translator right now is Google Translate. It can actually extract some language from given text and translate it to any other. Apart from that, we can do some question answering. So if we have some data sets with knowledge, we can, using the NLP, we can just look for the right answer in this knowledge bases and give user the answer. And the third part is topic segmentation. If we have huge text, we want to know that, for example, first part is about topic 1. Here it's about dogs. And the second part is about cats. Next two steps are much more difficult to achieve. Discourse analysis is just the understanding of connections between different parts of text. So in the sentence, I voted for Donald Trump because I think he is very smart. For us, it's pretty clear that he means Donald Trump, but for algorithm, for computer, it's not. So discourse analysis just tries to get all the text data and just find the connections and yeah, try to summarize it. And actually, the last part is pragmatic analysis. We want to be sure that chatbot really understand what was the question about and what is the subject of the conversation. If user text, please tell me a joke, we want to know that it's a chit chat, and we don't want to look for some specific answer in our database. This is very, very, very hard, as you've seen before. Not every chatbot is able to do that. But as I said, the core of everything is NLP, natural language processing. And the front-end layer is just for us, for people. Natural language is very understandable for us, and we use it on a daily basis to communicate. So we want to know that computers will understand us as well, using knowledge-based systems and data store. Thank you.